I'm here with Damian Scully, who is the Senior Business Development Manager for E2E Assure. Hi, Damian.
Hiya.
Did I get your title right?
You did, just about.
I apologise for reading it. So you're, I'm not actually familiar with your company, which is great. So it's nice to meet you. And I think you're quite new to legal. You're not new, but you're new to legal, and in terms of your so UK cybersecurity company, established in certain sectors and new to legal. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's quite fair. So we've looked after critical national infrastructure, finance companies, and clandestine networks for the last 10 years. But what we also noticed from protecting those networks was legal firms' position in the supply chain. So what we were seeing was that the threat actors, especially nation-state threat actors, were pivoting and looking for those enterprise access, so through federated teams access into the client end through the legal sector, and we wanted to extend our protection out to the legal sector.
Do you mind if it's fascinating and very much in accordance with things that I'm reading and writing. So is there, cybersecurity is a huge area, like just can you narrow it down for me a little bit more?
Yeah, specificity. We only do threat detection and response.
Okay.
So we stop attacks, and we stop attacks in seconds, not minutes. We work with clients' existing tooling to make sure that threat actors aren't able to access their networks, ultimately. Sometimes they can, there are instances, nothing is 100%, but we aim to make our clients too tough a target for cyber criminals to go after. In the cases where they do, we'll minimise that blast radius.
And with what you were saying before that, with regard to law firms, so that would be regarded as a supply chain issue, effectively?
Yeah, so what we do is we ensure that A, your users are safe if you're a law firm, B, your endpoints are safe. We're getting all of the log analytic information as well from the rest of the IT estate, and we're able to stop attacks. We're able to stop things like ransomware, business email compromise, and account takeover. Why
do you think so? Law firms seem to be more vulnerable to ransomware than ever before. I think that's fair to say. Is that right? And I wonder. There's so many reasons for that, but I wonder what the sort of prevalent. A, whether you would agree with me, and B, with what you think are the most prevalent reasons for that.
I think a lot of the stuff is what we're seeing is geopolitical from around the world, and I think that has spurred on a lot. We've also got AI. That's ransomware as a service. Also, ransomware as a service means that you don't need any skills; you just need the credentials. That's bringing in a big risk, and has obviously the data that legal firms hold is is sacrament, and for that is people are going to pay to keep that secret, and people are going to pay to keep that data confidential, and the firm's going to pay. So that drives it. But also sort of AI generated script kiddies, and I think with the ability for something like ChatGPT to write me an email in the style of, it's just spurring that on as well. So we're seeing a combination of geopolitical, easy to access ransomware as a service, and also we're also seeing AI boosting the capabilities.
One thing that I think worries CIOs that I've spoken to anyway, that does worry them, is this is voice technology. So I was speaking to a CIO at a big UK company who was saying we've come through so many hoops, and now we've got the ability potentially of a hacker to generate the voice of their CEO, giving them an instruction. And he's saying culturally, we've trained people to check links, we've trained people to do this, and now that this is like the next stage where people automatically trust voice. So I think that's going to be an interesting step.
Trust voice, but you need to take a step back, and where's that voice coming from?
Yeah.
So are you on a Teams meeting or a Google Workspace meeting with this person on their official capability, or are they on a different email address, a different phone number? Let's verify who this user is. And one of the things that we've recently brought in is using AI is the ability to protect a user's identity. So looking at a user not just from something like where are they in the world. So you might be a firm with partners that move about over the world, etc. You might be in Germany, you might be in France, and traditionally a SOC can say, well, is this risky? Is this that partner? Is it not? And that takes time, comes into the SOC. Well, actually, let's look at that. Let's look at that more holistically. Let's use AI tooling to make the SOC analyst at our side better at their job. And actually, is this the same machine? Is it a corporate device? Is it doing the things that that person normally does? Is it using the same browser on the machine? Is that user accessing resources that they don't normally use? In that case, if everything else is the same and mapped over a period of time on a timeline, and the same, but what's changed is a geolocation, then we can say that user is safe and verify that user and not revoke access. We can adapt things like that as well for what you're saying with voice.
Right, okay.
So therefore we know that if we can verify that user in that meeting, then we can work together with a company to make sure that the staff are trained to recognise all the things that can't go wrong. And actually, if that person's on the right machine, the right time, chances are they're not AI generated.
Okay, fascinating. So tell me about last but not least. We've touched on some, but you've got some breaking news. Da, da, da.
Yeah, so I did just cover it slightly.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't really do it. It's like, I should have done it.
Sorry.
I should have done it in advance, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Breaking news, what we just spoke about.
Yeah, and it's coming at looking at it from a sensible point of view.
So let's just identify, because I'm just teasing a little bit, but so identity protection, it really is, it's so brand new, and it is, teasing a little bit, but it is what we've just spoken about, but it is brand new. It doesn't have a name yet.
It's a part of what we do. So I mean, I suppose we offer modern workplace protection that protects against identity, account takeover, but it's a way of saying, how do we verify that person is that person? How am I me? Well, I'll tell you what, look at my machine ID, look at all these telltale signs and piece together the holistic picture of it, not just, did I come to London and then do a bit of impossible travel? But really, that's probably a VPN. Yeah? Or did I come to London today, but then I'm in Oxford tomorrow, and then I'm in France the next day? Yeah? Let's not kick me off at each point if everything else is the same. And it's using AI to make smart, informed, taking all the grunt work out, if you like.
And people don't, as much as you train people, it's really hard to spot all of those things. You know, like particularly where you're looking at lots of, trying to piece together lots of different factors to come up with the one answer.
And then somebody still needs to investigate, don't they? And that's human time, and human time's the big expense.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever we can automate drives down the cost, and that drives down the cost to the firm. But it also lets us do more intelligent things with our SOC analysts. So it stops churn. So our SOC analysts, rather than do that, can look at a threat dashboard that we've set up for our customers to say, that looks a little bit unusual. What went on there? Launch a threat hunt and then say, hang on a second, should that user have launched PowerShell? No. Okay, but then we can work together much more efficiently on everything else that matters and reduce everything else and reduce the noise of the alerts coming from the SOC and increase the value.
Well, that's been great. So that was the breaking news in the wrong order. But no, listen, really interesting. Thank you. And great to chat to you. Thanks for your time, Damian.